Hi viewers, welcome back to our learning channel. So this is the fourth session of how to develop logic model, TUC, logical framework, result framework. In previous session we discussed what are logic model, TUC, result framework and logical frameworks, and we developed theory of change also. Now in this session we will develop a result framework based on that theory of change, and then logical framework, and then proposals and work plan and M&E framework and M&E plan. Before going forward, let me remind you, don't forget to subscribe, like and share. In those sessions, we discussed that a theory of change, we need to do situation analysis, and basic structure of theory of change was what is the problem, what are the barrier, what is suggested to do, and what will be the output and outcome, and then ultimately the results. And as I told you, that proper consultation at TUC stage with all relevant stakeholders is very important. So this was the TUC that we developed in our previous session. Now based on this theory of change for this project, we will develop the result framework. This is the basic template of the result framework, or you can develop it like this also. So now let's start to develop our result framework. Now based on that TUC, we are going to develop a result framework which will look like this. This goal is based on the TUC that we identified the problem. So we will develop this type of outcomes and then the relevant output under each outcome, which will look like this at the end. Now in the result framework, since our goal in the TUC as we discussed here is improved quality of education, and this is because the problem is low quality in education. So this was the goal. So that is here enough. But to make it more specific, because in the result framework now this TUC is a broad level document. Here you will need to be specified. Improved quality of education in where? Type your locations, your districts, your regions, wherever you are doing that project. Improve quality of education in this province, or this states, or this countries, so that it's more specific. Now when you have you already have that goal. Now what are the outcomes that you want to address? There might be one outcome or two or three or four that you want, and you can add here a duration also, etc. So now here for outcome that might be one or two or three. Now let's first see, work on this here in a simple place here. This is our goal. So now we are going to decide about the outcomes. Now, there is low quality of education. The problem is low quality in education. So, my outcome should be, for example, I say improved capacities of teachers. There might be different types of outcome, because for this goal, I need to focus. So, my main focus things here, if you see in the TUC. So, there are teachers that I need to focus, material I need to focus, classrooms, trainings, etc. So I would say that I can develop some outcomes, like one is the capacity of the teachers, improve capacity of the teacher, improve classroom environment, can add here one another outcome. Improved classroom environment, that I will focus on the classroom environment, I will focus on the capacities of the teachers. You can say strength and capacity of the school. For example, construction of schools, or you do some sanitation work. So you can say strengthen capacity of schools, and there might be some different types of outcomes, like policy level, improve policies and system in place for quality education. So these different type of outcomes are different type of purposes, are different type of objectives you can identify to contribute to your goal. You can reduce the numbers, you can say improve capacities, you can club them also. Improve classroom environment, you can say in this classroom environment I will add capacity of the teacher also, and the classroom environment, both of them you can bring up under one outcome, so that there are two maximum or three outcomes, not more than that, or four maximum. So improved classroom environment or improved teaching performance, improved classroom environment or You can bring here system strengthening, and under the system strengthening you can say that system strengthening related to the infrastructure and policies procedures. You can do both of them. And then if there is low quality, so you can add some other. So here we have brought about improved classroom environment. So in the improved classroom environment, we are focusing on the teachers also and on the classroom environment also. Both of them we are considering under this one. Then system strengthening, so infrastructures and policies both. And then improved, the third one you can say community outreach related outcome, school management, improved school management through PTC and monitoring. You can add this one also through PTC and monitoring. Improved school management through PTC and monitoring. So you see that for this goal, if I improve the classroom environment, provide teaching learning material, provide training to the teachers, and under the system strengthening, if you do some infrastructure work, some policies level work, and then the school management through PTC and monitoring, you can see here the problems that were qualified teachers so that you can do with system strengthening for infrastructure and through policies, and you can provide some teachers so you can add some other outcome also, and that can come up under this outcome. Improve classroom environment, if the teacher is trained, classroom is print rich, so that obviously contributing to the improved classroom environment. And then the system strengthening, where you are focusing two things, infrastructure and policies. And then for this one, for this problem, that no proper monitoring, accountability in policies, so for that you can have improved school management capacity through PTC and monitoring. So these are the basic outcomes that you have designed based on the problem statement and the goal here. Now for these three outcomes, let's take them into their relevant spaces. For example, if we say here we have different outcomes. So here under different outcomes, you have three outcomes. So so one is, for example, this one, improved classroom environment. This is one of my outcome that I'm focusing. Then the system strengthening, and then here you can say improved school management through. So these are the three outcomes that we have decided about. See here, these are the three outcomes that we have decided about. Now we have to think about the different types of interventions or the different types of outputs that we would need for each outcome. So what are the outputs that we would need for these outcomes? Let's talk about them now. So now we need the output. So let's come to the output side. This is now output. Now I will have to decide about the outputs for all these outcomes. So for example, if classroom learning environment I am going to improve. So for this, obviously, I will need to focus on teacher training, provision of materials, then there would be sensitization and advocacy for these to ensure these proper material, etc. So this is related to the improved classroom environment. And then system strengthening, infrastructure work, construction if possible, not possible, then there are some policies. There you will need to do advocacies. So these policies for system strengthening, and then for school management through PTC and monitoring. So here we can say, for example, training of PTCs, or you can say revitalization of PTCs if those are not properly function. So revitalization of PCs. You can add here uh, monitoring systems in place for management and teaching, both school management and teaching. So for that you can add such type of outputs. So these would be your output related to the different outcomes. Bring them into their relevant spaces. Now here, the first output that I am going to decide about is obviously the first one that I would say is capacity. Capacity. So for capacity, that is the teacher training. We have subdivided this output one into two: management and technical. Technical is related to teacher and management is related to the head teachers and other as ASDO, circle ASDOs are the department of education, so that they may manage the school's environment in an effective way. There are teaching aids, materials, etc. Then under the classroom environment, we did sensitization and advocacy, so that also comes here. That mostly we are doing for the improved classroom environment. So we are doing the capacity level work, the teaching, learning material. For system strengthening, we were doing some infrastructure work and policies level work. So for this first one is the strengthening of schools. So construction, classrooms, construction of toilets and other sanitation work that we can decide. While I'm just focusing on the main crux, sanitation. So you can strengthening of schools, and then under the system strengthening, we were to do some policies level work. So here we can say policies. So policies and systems you have to do. So first you will have to review policies and systems. Then you will have to develop, adopt, modify uh, policies and systems, and then the advocacy and uh, notifications of notification and implementation of those. And under the improved school management, there are training of PTCs. So one is capacity. Here also we have one output, and that is capacity building of PTCs. And let's bring the head teacher one here. Let's bring here we can say capacity building of teachers, and that should be only technical. This one is specifically related. One is this one, a revitalization and monitoring system. So here we can add some more output. For example, the capacity building of PTCs and head teachers. This one is here, and output 6 for this one would be management and monitoring. For management and monitoring, here we can in place the revitalization of PTCs. That is very important, and then the monitoring systems that we will have to develop for school management and teaching. And here we will have to involve all the other stakeholders also: advocacy, the department, since it is education, so ASDEOs, SDEOs, etc., etc. And here for the capacity, so one is the capacity building of the training of PTCs, then training of head teachers on management. You can bring here training of ASDEOs and SDEOs, etc. And then prevention level or department level. The outcome is school management. So for management, then you have to ensure all these different types of. So these are the three outcome, and for them, then you have to capacity building of teacher, teaching aids or materials. This is another output, and then you have strengthening of schools, policies and systems, and then the for school management you have to. So these are the basic outputs. These are the outcome. This is the goal. Now for each output, then you will have to interpret them into detailed activities and which is usually done in the work plan and in the proposal stage. This is the basic structure of the result framework. Now, in the proposal development and developing the logical framework, you will have to interpret these different phrases into complete sentences, titles of activities, and the detailed narration. So this would be the basic structure of the result framework for this uh, see that we have already developed. Now, when we finalize this result framework after consultation, then we start working on the proposal also and on the logical framework, and that we will do in our next session. So I hope you have understood so far. Now, in the next session, which I will upload very soon, we will develop the logical framework, and then the proposal, work plan, and the M&E framework and M&E plan for this project which we have already decided about. So hope you enjoyed the session. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends.
And if you have any comments, so comment on the video. If you have any questions, so I will respond to that.
Dear viewers, we have started this YouTube channel. There are free of cost learning tutorial on if you want to learn Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Access, PowerPoint, MS Word, other learning tips. So we have detailed playlist, and there are hundreds of tutorials on Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, how to design presentation, Microsoft Access, how to develop databases and manage data, online data collection, learning Google Form, KOBO, MS Forms. If you visit this channel, you can find lots of video tutorial. Kindly support us, visit the channel. For example, in MS Excel, you will find these sessions in a proper sequence. For example, in MS Excel playlist, we have this basic session and then session 2, 3, 4. So if you start learning these sessions, so from the start, you can go ahead and you will find in a sequence sessions on Microsoft Basics, data analysis, conditional format, pivot tables, use of if, concatenate formulas, dependent drop down list, validation, name managers, VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP function, F function, advanced use of count, F in some ifs, how to find duplicates, tricks and tips related to Microsoft Excel, how to develop search boxes, searchable drop down list, aggregate functions, tracking performance of the projects or any other analysis of research that you have conducted, for example, school function, other such studies. There are sessions on how to develop beautiful charts, attractive charts, speedometers, dashboards in Microsoft Excel. Similarly, in PowerPoint also you will find how to design beautiful presentation in PowerPoint, how to do in MS Access also you will find all these sessions in proper sequence. The Access tutorials playlist, there are almost 8 sessions. In session 1 you will find the basics, how to create tables, queries, forms, and then you will go on with advanced options in Microsoft Access. Similarly, you will find tutorial on how to collect online data, Google Form, KOBO, MS Form. You will find also the use of MS Word, the mail merge functions. There are sessions on SPSS also, so you can learn SPSS if you need to do some analysis in SPSS. There is a series on project management also, how to conduct need assessment studies. Kindly support us, visit the channel, watch, learn, and improve your productivity. Thank you so much.